Leo, welcome back to your reading. This is the new moon in Pisces. This is happening on the 20th of February at 6 minutes past 6 p.m. if you're in the Southern Hemisphere with me. And this is going to pack a beautiful punch for you. I really see it and I believe it. And I want to tell you why. Pisces, the sign, if you're a Leo rising, rules your 8th house, which is where we come into intense connection. There's a lot of lessons in the 8th house that we learn in regard to grief and to loss and to ecstasy and to pleasure. If you think about all of the emotions that might seem a little taboo or too much or too real for some folks, well, for all of us in time to time, the 8th house is pretty intense. But here is a new moon for you, and you get to call in, you get to make magic with this moon. It's a Pisces moon, so it's extra specially potent. I'll show you the major secret. So in the tarot, Pisces can be sewn into the meaning of the moon card itself. There's two creatures here on the bank, and they're both compulsively baying to the moon. They're reacting to the sight of the beautiful full moon. And there's something emerging from this water here. There's something coming out, something from below to the surface, showing itself finally. These two animals are a dog and a fox. So there's domesticity and there's also wild instinct. I like this image for Pisces because we know that Pisces is unafraid to go there. Pisces is limitless in their empathy and also in their intuition. They can really smell out the relationships that work for them and don't work for them and the feelings of every single person in the room. So it can be really difficult for them sometimes, and they do numb out, whether it be through any manner of addictive behaviors sometimes, but also dissociation. They just shut off and you never hear from them again. So all of that color, let's sew that into your 8th house. Because Leo, I tell you what, if there's someone on the zodiac that is good at the 8th, I think it might be you. We know that Scorpio is brilliant at the 8th house. But we've got to remember that Leo is too. There are two warriors in the zodiac. Scorpio fights for our soul. Leo fights to save ourselves. So I want you to remember that. At a new moon in the 8th, we get to work with the energy, don't we? We get to create magic. We get to call in what it is that we're hoping for, we're longing for. Now, to call in the 8th house, there's many things that we can ask for in this space. We can maybe ask to speak to those that we miss, that we long for, that we yearn for. We may use the Pisces connection of intuitive psychic understanding and make contact with those that we need one more audience with. We can write them letters. We can remember how much we adore them. And we can honor that in ritual. We can also call in from the living world too. We can call in our next intense connection. We can remember our sensuality, our sexuality, and we can bring that into full force at this moon. I'm getting really, really beautiful images for you, Leo, of what might be able to happen. There's a whole bunch of, as we know, all of these outer planets are on their slow march to changing signs, to moving this thing around. You can probably feel it already, I imagine. There is a sense of the old era is done, and now we approach the new era, and what will that look like? But I really feel it that at this moon, it's almost like a preparatory space. February feels like a preparatory area where we're all bunkering down and getting ready to activate and to move forward with these changes. And so I think that there's something really seductive about this full moon for you. Sorry, this new moon, Leo. There's something that is really heavily based in instinct, because it will be dark. There'll be no light shining from the moon. We will have to use our instincts. Golly, all manner of things are rolling through my head as to what you might get up to, and I really can't wait to hear all about it. But let's pull some intuitive tarot. I'm going to have a look at some of the other aspects that are going on. Okay, well, look, let's talk about this. So in the lead up to this, I'm going to paint you a picture for your week. Follow me if you will. On the 16th of February, Venus will conjoin Neptune. They'll come into conjunction, both in Pisces, both love Pisces. Venus is the planet of love, pleasure, beauty, connection. Neptune is the planet of dreams. So there's something here about almost to the point of like deluded tripping out that I feel. And this will happen on the 16th. And this is right before that new moon, that point of activation. So I wonder who you might meet or cross paths with, or who might come before you in the lead up. I think with this Venus and Neptune, there is something about sort of like, whoa. It's like a bit of a Bill and Ted moment, like, oh, that was cool. You might come across somebody that you've never met before, but you feel like you've known for a million years. You might recognize somebody in someone's face that you have known for a very long time, but you might look at them differently. You might see something else. There's a stupefying quality to this Venus and Neptune. It's dazzling. It's hypnotic. So I wonder how this might play out for you, Leo. And I wonder how that might carry through to this new moon when you do have magical access to Pisces. Very interesting indeed. Let me have a look. I think I'm just going to get these cards out. I want to tell you a story. Mercury is squaring Uranus and trining Mars. Yeah, sure. Well, look, actually, no, wait. Hold up, Uma. That might be... Okay, so Mercury, the messenger from the gods, is in your 7th house at this lunation. That's actually something to really point to, because we have been dealing with boundaries. We have been dealing with restriction in that house of yours for some time. We are going to be looking forward to some movement. Saturn will be leaving Aquarius and entering Pisces on the 8th of March. And so maybe this is some kind of progress, Leo. There's a message here. There's something about your connections, how you're connecting, who you wish to connect with. Now, Mercury's trining Mars. So that aggravation that we've been feeling with Mars in Gemini is being supported by some intel, by some information from Mercury. This is nice. I like this a lot. It feels really potent to me, Leo. I don't know about you. Okay. All right. I'm just going to go with those 3 cards. I got the 9 of Swords. So we know what this is. This is grief in a tarot card. This is entrapment of the mind. This is repetitious thought over and over and over again. This is anxiety, fear, depression, and sorrow. In the way that I've got these cards laid out, this is something that we're moving from, Leo. So I want you to hold that in you. I want you to hold that intention, that if things are difficult for you at the moment, and if your mind is being cruel to you, then this is going to shift. This is going to move, because you have a choice to make. I got the Lovers in the center of this. Now, the Lovers can mean what the picture says. It can mean coming together, making the decision to involve your energy in that of another. And with all of this 7th house, 8th house talk, this is interesting to me. Let's bring this back into the conversation about the stupefying nature of Venus and Neptune in Pisces as well. Because the last card is the Eight of Swords. And I want you to look at that really closely. That figure looks as though they're trapped. It looks as though they're in bondage, that they're blindfolded, that there's no way out. But really, what if they use their spidey senses, if they open their consciousness a little wider, they can see that they're actually in control of the situation. They can lean over and cut those binds off. They can take that blindfold off, no worries. I see this and this, framing this, and I think to myself, there's a beautiful opportunity coming your way, Leo. There's a beautiful connection that I feel that's on the horizon for you. I don't mean to be so bold, but I think that this is probably something that we can really look forward to for you. There's some kind of coming together with somebody else that you're going to find the empowerment in that action. You're going to find something clicks within you where you can start to shed some of this. This can fall away because you realize that you have the power, that you're in control of your mind, that you're in control of your anxiety and your triggers. And this isn't to say that someone's going to come along and save you. No. I don't want to use that kind of language. It's not so simple. And we know that we can't invest our fate in that of the other. We know that for sure. But I think that this card does also represent a choice and a conversation. It's a Gemini card. It's a sort of coming together of two polarities, two opposite sides, or two seemingly opposite sides. There's a unification here, and it's a choice though. It's an actual choice. And so I see this as you choosing to heal. I see this as you standing up and out and into the light and shedding your skin, realizing that you've got nothing to hide, that the Star card rules your 7th house, and the bliss that can be found in that picture, that energy of glittering potential and honesty. There's a bravery to this that I really feel quite strongly, Leo. It's almost as if through vulnerability, through sheer vulnerability, your beauty gets to shine, your nakedness, your essence. No fear, no guilt, no shame. You're healing now, Leo. You're healing from this. And you don't have to be fully healed to engage in love with another. You don't. We all must be mindful of our journey and its relationship with the journey of somebody else. But you don't have to fix it before you engage, because you're perfect just as you are. You're perfect right now. And in that understanding, in that reckoning of realizing I am actually great right now, then you can open up and you can face the world and you can enjoy some of that intensity of the 8th house. Sometimes there's big fear attached to the 8, because as beautiful and ecstatic as it feels, the trigger of potential loss can be damaging, and it can stop us from acting on that impulse. It can stop us from engaging in one of the most beautiful parts of life, connection, because we're worried that it's going to come to an end. We know that it will. It's going to collapse before we begin. We've been there before. We always F it up. That's this stuff going on in your head, and that's not the truth anymore. Not at this new moon. Not with this magic of Pisces, not with this magic of Venus, not with this magic of Neptune. I like to think that this stupefaction, this like smoke bomb, I think that there's some nice stuff in there for you. And you know who to trust. You know how your body tells you. And separate from here, separate from here, if you go a little deeper and you go to here, you go to your belly, when you can put the mind to rest, because the mind's always trying to protect you, remember? It's always on the go to remind you of how it went wrong before, and this, that, the other. Your gut's instinct, your intuitive Piscean body will know which is the right one to let in. And when you do, it's going to be effing magic. I love you, Leo. Head to umaruby.com, get your birth chart read by me. If I haven't met you already, I would really love to read for you. Go to the readings tab and pick the spirit reading if you're having trouble choosing. That seems to be what most people do, and it seems to prove some great results. You can head to buymeacoffee.com/umaruby and throw some money in the tip jar. I will speak to you again in 2 weeks at the full moon in Virgo. So until then, Leo, do your thing. See what happens. Make a wish. Bye.